can reflect back to being a player with and manager of some of the finest players that have ever been in the game.
Hotspur America. From the United States to N17, this is the original US-based podcast dedicated solely to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
When you're at a club like Tottenham, they expect you to win all the time. Be the best club in the country as far as I'm concerned.
Coming to you each week during the season.
Spurs in full cry here. Lamella! Oh, what a goal! And Christian Eriksen has scored!
I hate Arsenal. I just hate them.
Oh, what a goal! And Cafu has put Tottenham in front! Kane comes to the Emirates, scores for Spurs.
We're the Yids in America.
Carried away, but Dukes is there to tap in!
To dare is to do.
Tottenham Hotspur turning on the style. Glory, glory night at White Hart Lane. The Spurs are still marching on.
This is Hotspur America.
Season 4, Episode 25 of the Hotspur America podcast, as always brought to you by the Community Beer Company, the perfect pub pint to share with your mates. Follow us on social media at Instagram, Hotspur America Pod, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Spreaker, and of course iTunes, where you can find our show regularly. Joined this morning by Tim, Simon, and Sam. Vass is actually doing some other stuff in and around the city, so not joining us this morning. A few of our friends are at this match. And we, as I think half of all of Twitter, have found a dodgy stream that someone is using Periscope actually in the stadium from the Wimbledon end to watch the match. So what we're going to do is kind of do a Sky Sports fan zone commentary as the match is going on, and then at halftime we'll get into the Swansea-West Ham match, some transfer rumor and speculation, as well as Chairs' five-a-side match day trivia week 9. So, guys, how are you this morning? Sammy, doing all right?
Yeah, doing good. I'm watching a dodgy stream like everybody. Actually, this is the dodgy stream of the dodgiest of streams.
Yeah, so
this is it.
Tim
explain it. This is unbelievable.
And that was the weakest shot ever. That just happened. It's really difficult to see who takes what. So we apologize in advance because I'm sure we are all going to be talking over each other as we get excited. As attacking play happens. Simon, doing okay this morning, man?
Come on, you Wombles. I mean, if you're going to do fan zone properly, someone has to support them.
How is that you? I tell you what, no, it needs to be.
Well, do you guys even know what a Womble is?
I don't even know what a Womble is.
I mean, Sam didn't take the bait last night. I told everyone in the world that he's either Tobin or Noko. Em, do you remember the Wombles growing up?
I do remember them, yes. Like the kind of cartoon-like thingy as a kid, right?
The Wombles.
And Timmy also here. Timmy, how you doing, man?
I am doing good. I got a very good night's sleep. I am ready to go.
Yeah, this at the time of recording, I think we are just about to halftime. There might be, I don't know, 5-10 minutes left. So we're kind of watching this thing. Very interesting lineup. Kane starting, Vertonghen starting, a couple of players that a lot of people thought would maybe get a rest for this match. Wanyama and Lamella both starting for the first time for Tottenham in donkey's years, it seems like. There's a long ball up the pitch, and this guy has just... Hello, pan over. Can't see. Thank you.
There's a blue balloon.
There's a blue balloon. It's difficult to commentate a little bit on this because I have no idea on any of the Wimbledon players whatsoever, and our players look like ants.
Well, I mean, let's just talk about what we've seen so far. Wimbledon actually did hit the crossbar. You would expect by this point, 5 minutes to go until half, that we'd at least have a goal or something. It just, the attack's a bit lethargic. I mean, losing the same shit we've seen. Sissoko losing possession in the final third, slow on his passes, not breaking down this team, and this isn't what we expected at this point in the match. At least I didn't expect this at this point in the match. I would expect a little more from the squad.
Especially with two up top.
Yeah. Yeah, even if it's just, lobbing long balls in and letting Llorente and Kane do it.
Well, there's Sissoko on a mazy run. And there's your goal. There's your goal.
Get in
there.
Who was
I
that?
noticed that he panned over to the linesman and didn't realize that this was going to be a serious effort on goal. So
Why was that Wimbledon fan next to him celebrating. Oh,
right?
no, that wasn't a goal.
Oh, it wasn't a goal. Shit.
I wondered why they were cheering. So we must have pantsed that up.
Fuck. That's how dodgy a Dodgy stream is when it looks like a goal, but it's really not a goal. All right. Come on, you Spurs.
Who even had the effort? Was it Kane or Llorente?
I'm not sure. It could have been.
It was Lamella.
It was Lamella?
Oh, it was.
So as we're doing this, I think most of us are also listening to the club's audio, which is about 20 seconds behind.
It certainly is.
And I just heard on there that it was Lamella that had the chance, and it went just wide.
Oh, it would have been great if he could have scored.
Well, obviously the keeper got a touch, so he wouldn't have got the corner. But hey, we saw a nice mazy run by that boy Sissoko. Just after we were slagging him off, he actually did okay. Not that we ever slag off any players, right, lads?
So I try and get behind him this season. He is an improvement from last season, but against West Ham, to be one of 3 players who didn't start 2 days prior against Swansea and to be the first sub off, that speaks volumes to his performance that game. It's just clear he's the weakest link. And it's also clear that players are hesitant to pass him the ball out of the fear he will lose it in the final third. You can see that with Christian Eriksen, and rightly so. He, at times,
Here we go.
It's clear that he doesn't want to pass the ball to Sissoko. And, I think everything is just summed up in that one pass wide to Aurier where he had been like 5 seconds prior.
Yep. Oop, long ball in, Lamella.
Well, you're talking about that pass that just went straight out, nowhere near anyone for a throw?
Yes. So, Aurier had been there like 5 seconds before Sissoko passed it. And I think that's one of the big problems with breaking teams down that park the bus is you need to be precise with your passes. And he just lacks accuracy. A split second can be the difference between having a clear shot on goal or a defender catching up to you and blocking that shot. And when Sissoko puts in an inaccurate pass that a player has to chase down, you miss that opportunity. You have to be very precise when teams are sitting 10 behind the ball against us. And it's just a liability to have him in there when we're trying to break these teams down. Yeah. I think, and that's why I'm so upset about not signing Ross Barkley, is we're still going out there with Sissoko because you're worrying about Dembele's fitness. Sissoko doesn't play as a true CDM. He pairs there, but he's the more attacking option. And I thought Barkley could have done that job. But now we're still stuck with Sissoko doing it. And it's just not going to help us get top 4. It's going to be a very tough battle to get top 4. And I think that could be a liability at us reaching that goal.
Well, and there were a lot of reports yesterday saying that we'd be open to offers on Sissoko as long as we recouped our $30 million. Well, we know that's not going to happen.
45.
Anyone else want to weigh in on Sissoko? Am I being a little too harsh on him on this? I feel like I've been kind of trying to support him this season and trying to stand behind him, but at this point, enough's enough. It's going to cost us in the standings.
Yeah, I think we've all said throughout the season, if he starts, it's not going to be a good game for us. If he comes off the bench, we've normally, got the lead and it's a moot point. I don't think he's been culpable of costing us.
And that's the thing, him coming off the bench, he runs a lot. He does a good job. He can be that player coming off the bench, but like you're saying, just having him start.
Which, now that Wanyama's fit, what's the likelihood of him being a regular starter? Halftime.
But wow. What's the benefit of Wanyama and Dyer? You put those two in together and it's going to be too defensive. That's not going to help us break down teams that park the bus. So I'm not sure if that's going to make a difference or not. And what's happened with Winksy? He's recovered. He's been on the bench.
No, actually, Ben Pierce reported yesterday that he made comments that he's still struggling with getting fully recovered from his ankle injury.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. And was that the same? That's the same ankle that he injured last year, right?
Yeah, in November. Yeah.
But
Ben Pierce ran into him yesterday, I think.
He has made the bench since that injury. So, I mean, if he's fit enough to be on the bench, I don't think we would waste that spot on someone who's not able to play.
All right, so this guy has put his phone down, and now I'm looking at, it looks like an old chip grease stain on the concrete of Wembley, but he's picked it back up.
It's a bit of a shame that's actually a good view, right, from the perspective of trying to understand why we have so much trouble breaking down, 10 men behind the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised that I'd love to be a real, fly on the wall this week and understand why we didn't sign Barkley. I mean, what had changed? He hadn't played, so
yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit while we're here at halftime. I mean, are you guys upset?
Shrewsbury almost scored, 87th minute. Sorry, go ahead.
Are you guys upset about the Barkley situation?
Nah.
No.
I never get upset about us. It's caused me so much heartache down the years. I just learned to roll with the punches, and I can't get upset with us losing out on a player that we've been linked to. Because again, we don't know if we're really, really chasing someone. There's so much hyped up in the press, so I just don't get worked up about it.
Look at it from the perspective of, are we chasing a top 4 position, and do you think we have enough on the current squad to do that? Do you think, and if you don't, do you think that we need something else, and do you think that he could have fit it?
But we're hearing that Poch chose not to pursue the player, where we've heard, again, a lot of people went... Yeah, who knows? But a lot of people went on the premise that Levy didn't back Poch. But when you've got enough sound bites out there saying that Poch chose not to go with this player, does that sound true? Because we could have done it at the end of the summer transfer window if that's what we really wanted to see. So again, I'm not getting worked up about it. Is it disappointing? I guess, but. I think I like the player. The last time I saw him play, and I think he would have fit in with the young English model of what we're after. But again, disappointing. But I'm not going to be upset or mad about it. It's just.
I think the thing that gets me is just, and I'm trying to be objective here, because I was, and y'all remember, I've never been like overly in love with him as a player.
You were 100% against signing him in the summer.
Yeah, because of the time, I felt like there were better players. There were better players to chase after. But I look at it now within the context of now what we need, and a versatile player could potentially play this campaign, could potentially play in Champions League, wasn't going to be expensive. The English player to boot, would fill potential key roles, putting some pressure on Eriksson, putting pressure on a Sissoko, coming in, filling multiple roles. And so I just thought, wow, there's a lot of reasons to sign it. Like with other players, there just seemed like there were bigger questions as to why you would sign that player. Like I just seemed like this was a player in a time where more boxes were checked off than a player that I can remember in sort of recent windows, and the ability to get him in December, and then you lose him to a rival, and it doesn't seem like it was for very much money. A bit surprising to me.
Yeah, I think.
And
I was going to say the valuation part of it is what really struck me, and in this day and age where we're seeing players who don't deserve the money that they're being sold for, going for massive money, and then Barkley for $15 million. From a valuation standpoint, it's like, well, why not?
The moment that you buy him, you sign him on a long-term contract. He's worth 2-3 times what you pay.
That's my point.
But I guess maybe it comes down to this. The only sort of objective big reason that I could come up with is that he was going to be on 140,000 pounds a week, which next to what Harry Kane is reported to be signing for would be the highest paid player.
Right.
But we didn't have any problem at the time playing, Sissoko as the highest paid player. So I don't know. I didn't feel like that was big enough reason. And what would happen? I was going to say,
if you look at some of the pundits though as well, the Twitterverse that's out there, so Alistair, Lyle, and a few others for that matter, have said yes, Pochettino did not choose this player because there are other targets this summer that they are after, that they want to put their stock into, and I think it was Lyle who was. Or no, actually, it was Alistair who was very key in saying they need another player like Eriksson that can, have the pick to the lock. to break some of these teams down.
And that's why I wanted Barkley. You know, he had the 4th most chances created in the Premier League last season.
And he was playing in a situation